Hi, I'm Dennis, and thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. First of order, if you have any questions, comments below, please. And if you liked what I have to say today, please make sure you check the like. First order of business, I want to give a shout out. Great kudos to Powder Burns. That's Powder -- Burns. Did a bang up job on the HK disassembly and reassembly. I mean, he really put a lot into it. I thought it was an excellent piece of work, and it is really worthwhile going and invest in time in going through all those videos, gleaning what you can from them. There's only one thing. I want to make it a little bit easier to understand what you actually need to do to make the assembly, not the disassembly. Well, you know, the disassembly, yeah, but mostly the assembly go real smooth. And what I want to talk about is where he goes through, and at the very beginning, remember he was talking about the hammer axle going through the trigger bar and the detent spring that's down inside here. He talks about how you got to hold it down and hold it in place and let the trigger bar go through. The trigger axle goes through and then goes through the hammer, and then you have the hammer strut that's supposed to have been dropped through and then lined up into the slot of the hammer. Okay, the hammer has this, a slot in there, and it kind of lines up in there, and he talks about lining it up. Yeah, you have to do that. How you have to make sure the inside here, you have to have the flag in there. Okay, it looks like a sickle, with the spring. You push down on it with the thing. When you push down, then the hammer axle will go all the way through. And once that's done, he talked about turning it over and putting the spring on the hammer strut, and then putting the retainer block in with the pin. Okay, that's good. That's good advice. Here's the difference on that. Then he goes into putting the sear in, and the sear was right inside here next on this side of it, on this side of the weapon. Anyway, and he talked about putting the sear in there. It does snap right in nicely, and once it snaps in, line it up and put that pin through. This little guide pin that has to go in there, which everything sits in. The disconnect, of course, the sear itself will fit in there, and all the other little parts in there. Anyway, all those have to line up on that pin. Okay, and because they have to line up on that pin, it creates a like a binding, because the hammer spring puts so much pressure on the hammer axle and the hammer, and it puts all kinds of pressure because of the sear pushing against it all. Okay, because you got to push that bar back and forth to put the disconnect, the control latch, you have to put the detent plate in, and yada 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 yada. But putting all those in there. But once you get the sear in, and you get the sear lined and the pin through all the way through, that's all. The rest of it's still waiting for you to do. What you should do then is remove this retainer block, pop it out, let the spring kind of come out, and just set it down, and then assemble, because that rod will go back and forth really easy. You can put the disconnect in, and then you can put the excuse me, then you can put the catch in, and then you can go ahead and then you can put the disconnect on this side. The control latch is in, then you can put the disconnect in there, and back and forth with that pin, like he talks about. I mean, again, kudos to him. Powder Burns did a really nice job on it. Just that one little thing. After you put the sear in, go ahead and remove this block and let the pin just sit there, because the hammer strut will stay in place. Other than that, he did a bang up job. So if you like it, let me know. Okay, you have a nice day. Bye bye.